Before I begin, I should probably warn you that I am another one of these weird academics who spends a lot of time thinking about sex. I know, it's probably not even the best thing to say when I'm trying to win friends and influence people, but nevertheless it's true. It's definitely not where I thought I would be when I started my gender studies degree 15 years ago. See, I've always been fascinated by differences between men and women, and particularly how they compete. And when I finished my PhD in psychology, one of the things I started looking at in my research was sexy selfies. That millions of young women primp and preen themselves in front of their phone cameras every day just to get the right alluring photo for Instagram is enough to worry even the most tech-savvy feminist. Even more so when you consider that the sexy selfie is most prevalent in educated, developed countries. I mean, these are the same places that have just spent decades battling the sexual objectification of women and girls and are currently calling a string of powerful men to account for ongoing sexual harassment. So why the sexy selfies? By and large, I think we're misunderstanding what we see. My research suggests that sexy selfies actually say much less about gender oppression in societies or about the women who post them than they do about the nature of the economies that the women live in. My collaborators and I have been tracking hundreds of thousands of sexy selfie posts across 113 nations around the world to identify what societies that post more sexy selfies have in common. And so far, our results suggest that women are more likely to post sexy selfies online in places where economic inequality is rising. So in developed nations such as the United States and Singapore, these are the kind of places that I'm talking about, where steady gains in the empowerment of women are actually coincided with widening gaps between the haves and the have-nots. The UK, for example, is more economically unequal than Australia, and they have more sexy selfies there. And despite the general consensus that female sexualisation is driven by some kind of gender oppression, we find that gender inequality in developed nations, unlike economic inequality, is a poor and unreliable predictor of sexy selfies around the globe. So when a young woman, it might even be your own daughter, adjusts her bikini provocatively with a phone ready, she probably isn't worrying about succumbing to the patriarchy. And our sexy selfies research and in-depth case studies in our lab suggest that she is probably maximising her lot in life and is feeling empowered, assertive, and in control. Thank you.